What's up, America? Y'all know who this is. Dropping it. Growing up in the inner city is a constant struggle that I've been an eyewitness to. There's been plenty of times I've seen my mother struggle to make ends meet. The same way I've seen other people's parents go through the same struggle. Along with the educational, spiritual, and social struggles of the black community, there's also the financial. Of course, a lot of this has to do with some of our parents' failure to make good decisions and lifestyle choices, and believe it or not, racism. Most young black males have no male role models essential to their development. Unfortunately, the role models in the black community tend to be the drug dealer, pimp, hustler, or even the OG gangbanger. Young black males, just like any other ethnic group, need leadership and direction from men. Most young black men grow up with no fathers and therefore lack the knowledge of what a father role is. This has created an endless cycle in the community. These so-called role models in the hood introduce black men to alternatives to school, getting a decent job, and more importantly, being a productive member of society. The young black male, in his hopes of identifying with his hood heroes, embarks on this endless cycle of incarceration. This, along with the high murder rate, makes life in the inner city even more unbearable. In my video titled Trapping, Hustling, Slinging, and White People Injustice, I already touched on the issues of disparity in the justice system and how they unfairly incarcerate blacks at a high rate. But here I'm speaking of the pervasive attitudes that keep the doors forever turning. I have family and friends who have been locked up most of their life. The P9 institution is worn like a badge of honor to many young men in the black community. I can't tell of how many people I knew that served time and talk as if it's some kind of summer camp or vacation resort. Most of these cats come out of prison without educating the younger generations. Most never precaution these young men of the dangers of prison and the after effects of a criminal record. A criminal record that could prevent you from getting a job, receive a student loan if you decide to go to college, or even vote. Most prisons are the modern day plantations, as prisons have replaced factories and are producing everything from license plates to kids' toys. The focus of rehabilitation is no longer there, as most prisons have turned into universities of crime. Black men continue to be swallowed up into the system at a record pace. The last census estimates that in the next few years, the number of blacks in prisons would top over 1 million. In some cases, that's 1 out of every 4 black men in some cities. Although I know some of these young men turn to crime as the only way of taking care of their families, these stats confirm that this type of thinking is not successful. The music industry must share some blame for producing rappers with the negative lyrics surrounded around money, sex, drugs, and violence. Although I won't place full blame here, this type of music often serves as the theme of most of the criminal activity. Black women with their desire to have men of the streets also play a small role. There's plenty of young and older black men trying to impress women by showing how much of a gangster or thug they are. Some black men, like some of the men in my family and friends, have become institutionalized and seem like they can only function in jail. The psychological impact has been tremendous in the black community. I get annoyed when I hear black men glorify being in prison as if going to prison is normal. It also sickens me when those that have served time sometimes criticize those who haven't. We have in effect accepted going to prison as a rite of passage in the black community. That neo-slavery mentality is weakening us at our black men, and even some of our black women are becoming more and more likely to be incarcerated. Black women are compiling up record numbers inside of prison. So I say, my people, do we break the cycle, or does the cycle break us? And on that note, I teach and I don't preach. Peace.